All right. Good day, good people. Welcome to Daily Border Crossings. I am so excited and beyond thrilled about today's guest. There's a good chance, if you've been alert to news or social media or radio or other information mediums these days, that you have seen or at least heard of my guest. He caught the world off guard with his illustrations, his medical illustrations, leaving one of the hosts on CBS News saying it was just a thing that he didn't realize that he needed. Graduate of the University of Uyo, currently the chief medical illustrator at the Journal of Global Neurosurgery, and headed to Kiev Medical School in Ukraine. Please welcome Chidiebere Ibe to the show. Welcome to the show, Chidiebere. Name. I'm totally.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. So as I mentioned, your face, your name, your illustrations are all over the place right now. What have these past few weeks been like for you?
It's been so overwhelming, so overwhelming, because first of all, I did not expect this. I did not expect any of these at all, to be honest with you. And but I just had to cope with the trend. I had to adjust my time, adjust everything. It's just, I think I cried actually. I did cry at some point because.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. That was like, I didn't expect this at all. So it's been amazing. It's been an amazing week so far. It's been an amazing year.
I bet it's been awesome for me, and I'm not you, right? It's just been awesome to see you. So you graduated last year, right?
Yes, last year.
Okay, and so where are you now? Because the University of Uyo was in Nigeria. Is that right?
Nigeria, yes.
Okay, so where are you now?
I'm still in Nigeria, so I'm to resume school January next year at Kiev.
Okay, and then so yeah, I was going to ask about that. Why Ukraine, or why Kiev in particular?
Okay, so Kiev was an option for me because I had no other better option. So I had tried to schools in the US. The chances were actually very high. UK was high. So I said, okay, let me try Ukraine. I know that it's quite easy to get to Ukraine. And yes, the school fees actually were not that expensive. So I felt I could work as a medical student and pay up my school, because I'm actually self-funded. So I felt I could work also and pay my school fees. So that's why I chose Ukraine to go. That's why I chose Kiev Medical University.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're actually the first guest for my new tie-dye episode of Daily Border Crossing. So quick story. When I was at Harvard, at the Harvard Graduate School of Education, I majored in TIE, which stands for Technology, Innovation, and Education. And I had been an educator and a journalist for years and wanted to take things to the next level, right? So I applied to Harvard's ed school, to the TIE, Technology, Innovation, and Education program. And I was also doing quite a bit of diversity and equity work at the time. And so I became one of the ed school's equity and inclusion fellows. And so one thing that I would notice when I was in my graduate program is that some of my fellow students and some professors and some guest speakers at times could all use some work as it pertained to diversity and inclusion. Plus, I was thinking about how the majority of people at the top of tech and ed tech companies kind of look the same, right? There's not a lot of diversity in those areas. So I knew a lot of those companies hire people from Ivy League schools like Harvard. And so I wanted to do my part in helping educate like that sector of people about DEI. started what's called tie-dye, so TIEDIE, which is an initiative that focused on technology, innovation, and education, and diversity, inclusion, and equity. And I began that whole exploration. So this season on my show, I'm bringing a monthly segment of that to the podcast. And so if ever I feel like anyone embodied both of those things, the TIE and the DIE, in person and through your work, it is you. And so thanks again for being the show's first tie-dye guest. But I'm wondering about your background with this. I think one of the things that I love about you is the fact that you're doing illustrations and medical work. I feel like most neurosurgeons or aspiring neurosurgeons are not also artists, right? Or most artists are not necessarily in the medical field. So it's super impressive that you're doing both. But can you talk about that? Like, which came first? Or were you a child that liked to draw, or like we're curious about medical stuff? Like how did these two things come together?
I think both came together sincerely because um, when I was a child, I was very creative, okay, but I wasn't an artist. I mean, I never drew as a child, okay.
Really?
So no, I did not. So when I was a child, what I did most time was to create was to make constructions. I would make a moving car. I would make an aeroplane. I would construct a whole lot of things. So I was just creative, and
like you were
and I was
constructing these structures out of like there would be three-dimensional things, not drawing. Okay.
Not drawing, just to construct. I can get a carton, make a tire out of nothing, make an engine and propel it. So I was just this creative person as a very, very young person. And also in turn, I love making analysis on lizard. So most times I'll just go to I'll just get an animal. I would try to analyze what to look like. I made some injections to the lizard. I mean, it was just amazing, amazing. So I mean, from inception, I love medicine. I wanted to be a medical doctor, and I knew that I was also very artistic. So growing up, I realized that I could make a balance between those two, because I realized that there is so much art in medicine, and I mean, medicine is easy when you apply art in it, because
really,
yeah, as a surgeon, it's because surgeon is more of art. Thinking as an artist makes surgery quite more interesting. So I realized that, so I could apply my art skill as a surgeon and create more impact in the world. I mean, the world hasn't seen anything yet. Yeah, of course, we're coming out there stronger.
So how did you know you wanted to be a surgeon?
So as I said, I was this creative person. Yes. And I knew that from the very moment I knew I thought about medicine, all I thought was surgery. Like I didn't know if there were other parts of medicine, if they were practicing medicine or just general practitioner. But all I knew was just to be a surgeon. And most of the I watched was all surgery videos. So it's just for my interest to become a surgeon. And whenever I saw doctors working, I was like so amazed. I'm just going to be a doctor one day. So I just love surgery in general.
Okay. So a listener, one of my Daily Border Crossings listeners and a fellow Harvard Graduate School of Education alum, Constant Gist, had asked, she wanted me to ask the question, are you having challenges at this point with creation or distribution of the charts? Is there anything challenging about getting those charts out there?
Sorry, give me what else?
I guess the charts, the illustrations and the things that you're doing, like, are you, I don't know if you are in charge, maybe you're not, maybe there isn't anything challenging, but I think it seems so surprising to the world, because I don't know, because the world hadn't seen it. And was there any pushback? Like how did that? What was that process like with, because have you always done it with people have you always like had, Black people or, people of color in your work?
I'm actually a self-taught make illustrator. So being that I'm self-taught, I started with a computer mouse and a very old computer. So that's how I started, and that's how I learned. So from the very first time I started drawing, they were all Black people in my drawings, all Black people. I mean, if you go to my Instagram handle,
yes,
from the very first time I started learning, they were all Black drawings, and
love it.
It's amazing that, so most times I would do those drawings and share them, and I wouldn't have any reaction from people. I wouldn't have any comments, nothing. I mean, but I knew that this was the right cause. So for me right now, it's more of a purpose, no longer a passion right now, because I understand the need of this in the medical school. And so it's really been a very difficult journey, I would say, because as I said, I'm a self-taught illustrator. I started last year, July, during the lockdown. So
Yeah.
teaching myself all of this, everything I knew has been very difficult. And to be honest with you, 1 year as an illustrator, I had never made any money from it. I mean, but I had done jobs. People just um, get my work and do not pay for them. And I mean, that's fine because that's a learning process. So, I mean, I mean, it's really a whole lot of challenge, a whole lot of long, difficult challenge. I mean, yeah.
So when did you start? You know, you said you've always done Black people in your illustrations. When did that start? The illustration.
From the very first day I started drawing, like from the very moment I started doing medical illustration, which was last year, July, it has always been Black illustrations.
Yeah, but like how long ago? Wait, when was that? You've been doing
Last
it
year,
for
July.
Wait,
Just
what? You've only been doing this since for a year and a half?
yes. Yeah, and a half, yeah.
I mean, it might. I wonder if that seems like, I don't know if that seems like a long time to you. I assumed you had just been doing it for years and years, and we're just hearing about it. But and also the level of detail for somebody who's self-taught, and like you, it looks like you've been perfecting this for years. Okay, that's impressive. That is amazing. That you just like only a year and a half.
Yeah, so it's that's why I said it was a difficult process. So because um, here in Nigeria, we
Yes.
have a lot of power supply issues. Okay,
Hmm.
so where I live, there is no power supply. So most times I would pay for like 1 good year, I would make a transportation to my church where there's always power supply to draw for 1 good year. So every day drawing, every day learning. I think that's just how I got better and I perfected the skills. And and one thing that helped me was that I was always questioning processes. So most times I would look at how professionals had drawn theirs. And so because on YouTube, they do tutorials on YouTube. So it made it very difficult. So while I look at other people, how they've done theirs, I would think, okay, because I have a computer mouse, how can I do this as a computer with my little tool that I have? So process like that just shaped my mind. Just because I know that challenges build our creativity. So because I had little tools to work with, I had to rethink. I had to recreate my mind to be able to conform with what I have to create those drawings. So that's just how I grew from making detail. I mean, if you see my old drawings, they were not that detailed, but because I had used the little tool that I have to make little changes, I think that's pretty much how I grew into becoming more detailed in my drawings.
Okay. Well, and that's what I, when I was talking about the TIE, the tie-dye piece, the technology piece of this. I mean, the art, I think sometimes people forget how much art involves technology. And I'm like, these are digital illustrations. I mean, you can do art with drawing and stuff, by hand, but these are digital illustrations. And so there's this whole technology component, this whole STEM science, there's tech, there's education. I mean, it's I can't say enough about how exciting it is. And I, one of the things that I think is so important, I know you've talked a lot in your interviews and things that I've read about why it's important. It's important for me when I think about it to just like normalize things, right? Like it because otherwise one norm is one group or so is what is normalized. And two quick examples of that. Years and years ago, I worked at a factory right out of high school. And I was like, this is not for me long term, but I worked there for a while and we had to put these tubes on this conveyor belt. And there was these certain tubes that were kind of a beige, peachy color, and they called them flesh. And I was like, well, why are we calling, like, do you mean like flesh, like what's under the skin? Is that what you feel like, what color's under the skin? But they meant that, no, these are skin color. And I'm like, what? But that's the way they refer to them. And everybody called it that and nobody questioned it, but I did. And another example, that was at the adult level. But another thing that happened when I was teaching at this independent school, I was teaching PK, right? So it's kids that are 4 years old. And one day I was talking to this little boy, it's a little white boy. cute kid, and we were just talking, and he was telling me, what he did the night before, and he said he was building with Legos, and he said, I was making this thing, I was using skin color Legos, and I said, what is that? What does that even mean, skin color Legos? And he said, he said, skin color, and I said, do you mean like my skin or your skin? Like what color? And he said, I'll never forget this. He said, no, but he said, Miss Fletcher, I mean my skin, real skin. And I thought, we had a whole conversation about, let's talk about what skin is and what it means and what's real or not. But he was 4. And so he's getting this early impression of what the world is and how he was making sense of it. And so that's another reason that I'm excited about what you're doing, because it can just it normalizes a different thing starting early if people see it this way. And so is that part of what you wanted to do, to kind of normalize things?
Yes. Like, that's just the goal, to make things very normal, because I'm so much sure that from now on rather, things will get very normal, because just about today, Elsevier reached out that, Elsevier is one of the big guys that publish medical textbooks. So it's amazing that if Elsevier has decided to include Black drawings in that medical textbook, the change is already here. So,
wow.
And I believe things will already be normalized from there. So,
yes.
This is that's that. My goal is to make things normal, and also, it's not just about me now; it's just about everybody. Because, of course, I can't work alone to normalize things. But if you come together as a system, as a community,
absolutely
working together, creating this change, I believe it will be much better and much easier. Yes. So yes.
Like, be inclusive. Exactly. So it doesn't have to be one way. And I feel like some of the naysayers, you've been praised a lot, and a lot of people are welcoming what you're doing, but there are some people who say this isn't necessary. I personally think it is, because why not include everybody? But how do you deal with naysayers? Do you just ignore them, or how do you deal with that?
I just ignore them, because first of all, I have a name to uphold to. Okay. So yes, people say a lot of things that it's not necessary. So most times I think about it. Why is it not necessary? Because people are not experienced, people are not used to these things. This has been a problem for a long time now. Then exactly. Why is the change not necessary? People say a whole lot of comments that why Black drawing, they should all be white. It's just amazing to hear that. So
that makes no sense to me. And they say things like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Why does it have to be Black? It doesn't matter what color it is." If you say it doesn't matter, then why can't it be Black, right? Like, what are you saying exactly?
It's amazing, because now I'm not advocating that all drawings should be Black. Now, right. I'm just saying that Black should also be inclusive.
Included, absolutely.
There should be a balance. So and people just misconstrue everything, and it's amazing. It's amazing that you say that, but I noticed that whenever change is about to occur, people oppose change. Absolutely. So that's a normal thing. That's just normal attitude of people. So I basically didn't answer people, because that's just it. People oppose change, and because that's something good, and people always oppose it.
Yeah. Okay, I'll start to wrap. I noticed when you've been, like, I was noticing on your LinkedIn that you've been excited about promoting your, the different opportunities that are happening for you. And I noticed you giving credit to and thanking God, something I do often. You talk about the ways God has been instrumental for you.
I'm a Christian. I'm a deep Christian, and I love God a lot. And not to sound very spiritual, but everything in my life, there are a whole lot of professionals who have been in this field for about 30 years, but I'm just 1 year in this, and this change that happened in my life. So it's something beyond my control, something beyond my imagination. So I just give up credit to God, because none of this would have been my personal work. Because to be honest with you,
yes,
the day I did that drawing, I had a fight in my spirit. I had a struggle in my spirit. I didn't want to do that drawing. I did not want to do it.
The baby, the one with the baby, the mother and the...
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
What do you think? Why didn't you want to?
No, that's because I was denied a visa to go to school. So everything just turned out very sad for me, and nothing was working out for me. So I just felt I didn't want to do anything at that moment, but I just knew that I had to just keep on working, because I felt so addicted to my work. And so the day I did this drawing,
I
had a prompt in my spirit to do that. So I was just thinking, and so I just did it. And it's amazing to know that I had posted this drawing like some days before it went viral. So it's not like I posted it and it went viral that same day. So it's amazing how God works. I'm a Christian, and I prayed about it. And it's just amazing that the period before the drawing went viral, God kept leading me to make prayers that period. I mean, I just kept waking up in the night to make prayers that night.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's amazing that God is faithful, I would say. I just give him all the glory. I mean, I talk about it almost everywhere. I mean, so before your interview, there was an interview that I spoke on, and I told him that this is more than what I can explain, because and I just have to give glory to the one who made it happen, because it's not because I'm the most skilled illustrator, it's not because I'm the most talented or I'm the most creative,
right?
Or it's not because others haven't thought about it also.
Yeah.
But I just felt that just go what God wanted. So that's just it.
That's awesome. I mean, that like I assumed that this had been out for a while and I just hadn't seen it, but it was like this all you felt something tugging in your spirit. You didn't feel like it. You went through with it. You pray and then you put it out and then it just takes off just that fast. God is awesome. Won't he do it, as they say. Thank you for sharing that story. I think that's going to be helpful to a lot of people. Okay, so last couple of things I read somewhere. Now you tell me if this is right. This might not be right, but I read somewhere that NYU, I think, or some schools, right? I think it was New York University, or I don't know if you saw this. I think it was NYU was saying, "Hey, come here after med school for a PhD or something like that." Like are you getting these kinds of offers?
Yeah. So I actually got an offer to do a PhD in New York Institute of Technology after medical school. But I mean, that's great. Yeah. So I actually said, I'm going to accept that. But for me right now, I'm looking forward to probably doing a medical school in the US. So if those opportunities comes up, I'm going to take that right now. So my focus is probably making a change from Ukraine to the US or UK. But I mean, I told him, yeah, of course.
Yeah, you know
So,
what? We need to see. I would be thrilled to have you as a fellow alum at Harvard. I'm going to put it out there for Larry. Perhaps I shouldn't call him Larry, the president of the university who signs all our emails, President Lawrence Beckow. He signs our emails, Larry at the end. So yeah, let's put it out there, right? Let's bring you. Let's bring you. I wonder if we can get you at Harvard. I'd love that.
I would love that, of course. Why not? So it's been amazing. So, but I mean, I took the offer, hoping that after medical school in Ukraine, I would come over there and do that. Yeah, but my plans is that if I get more offers for medical school, actually in the US or UK, I would take that and, of course, do that.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, wrapping up, you can see that just on a couple of other random questions, I have my bow earrings because I'm in the holiday spirit. And I know different people, like for different people around the world, this is the holiday season in different ways. What's it? How's it for you? Is it what are the holidays like for you?
Very normal. I'm very, very normal for me. Like, because normally I'm not used to a whole lot of fancy stuff. So just feel normal for me. I'm most times on Christmas on 25th, I walk. So
you work.
Yeah, it's just very normal for me. I don't feel so special about it. Just that sometimes families that travel come back home. Yeah, it's good to see people that you haven't seen in years again. But just pretty normal for me. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have siblings that do any of this too? Like, are you come from an artistic family?
Yes, I have 4 siblings, 3 boys and a girl. So I'm the second born.
Okay. Yeah. Or are parents, or either one of your parents like in the arts or medicine?
No, my dad is just a trader. I lost my mom in 2011. So just my dad.
Okay. All right. Sorry to hear about your loss. And it's so exciting that like you're carving your own lane, right? With this art and with this medicine. And I'm just excited about it. So, okay. So as we wrap up, I knew you had the GoFundMe. If you want to like drop what that is and also your IG handle or anything that that you'd like to leave here that I can share with people to support you and continue to promote you.
All right. So the goal for me was to raise tuition for school.
Yeah.
And I had raised the tuition. I had closed the GoFundMe, so the GoFundMe is closed now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so
That is another awesome thing when I think about God and think about what you did and think about, I don't know how long you had it there, but like that, I know when I looked, it was past the amount you needed, like it exceeded that, and that probably happened very quickly. So I'm excited about that for you.
it was like twice of when I needed, so I just had to close it.
There you go. Okay, and then yeah, your IG.
IG is Ibe Illustrate. I think I just put that in the chat.
Yeah, do that, and then I'll add it to your stuff. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, do you go by Ibe more, or is it Chidiebere? What do you?
Chidiebere, but Chidiebere. So Ibe is just part of the name. But,
yes. All right, Chidiebere. All right. Well, Chidiebere, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I can't wait to meet you in person one day. Do you know when you'll be in the States? Any plans to come to the States anytime?
If opportunity comes, of course, I'll be in the States.
All right. Well, I hope to meet you in person one day, and I appreciate you, and good luck with everything that you're doing. I think it's awesome. I think you're awesome. And thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.